Huh? Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Branding Banter, your promo podcast where you can get all the nerdy news you need to know about. My name is Jeff Franklin, National Accounts Manager with Headwear USA, and I'm joined today by two other lovely folks.
I'm Meg Erber from Proforma, Director of Sales at a Mainer, but you can't tell that because we're all under Jeff today.
Are you joined by us or are we just always here? But I'm Sarah Goshgarian Unruh, National Sales Manager at Stalls. It's just that we're in person together.
I was going to say, where in the world?
We can every
touch
episode.
each other.
You know what I mean?
There you go. Like, we're always here. We feel you.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. So
Sorry, we're having a lot of fun this morning.
we are, of course, all together.
Yes.
We're at Promotions East. Meg, why don't you kick it off since you were part of the...
All of it.
What is your crew? Like, what do you guys call yourself?
We're the co-chair of the Promotions East Committee. So yes, this is the final day of the Promotions East Trade Show in Atlantic City. A little bittersweet, I have to admit. This is the very last year that we will be having this trade show here. We do not have the exact place yet for next year, so stay tuned. But I know we have a couple of really amazing places. And I think the whole thought is to be more experiential with the opportunities that we're presenting for distributors through the supplier network for next year. So, but this year, even though it was a much smaller show, just from my point of view, I got to actually walk the show this year, which was really incredible and different. It was very busy. So I don't know, where do we want to start off? Like, we talk about the box first, the influencer campaign, and kind of walk through the show itself.
Yeah, let's go into that. Did you get any stats back or anything from as far as like the campaign?
I mean, I have not, but we do know that it did drive registration. We had two goals. One, we wanted to create awareness. Hey, this is the last show in Atlantic City. Let's mix it up, come have a fun time. And the other one was to just drive registration. So we did have a last a minute bump for registration, a couple hundred people. I will, of course, take full credit for that, being a salesperson and all.
No, see, I saved the best video for last, and of course, that's what got Sarah here.
Oh, see?
There we go.
Okay.
My dance video, like on Monday night. Sarah was like, you know what?
I was like, I'm coming.
Go.
Yes, I'm in.
I mean, you were challenged by a couple people, I think, in that dance challenge video.
It was just cutting.
Oh, well, that was a lot of fun. So we had an iClick 30-second dance video, something. It's a little button, a Cotopaxi, I cannot speak today. A fanny pack,
a bum bag
from Sanmar. Oh, big shout out to Candy Crispin. Thank you so much. And then we had these really cool foam trucker hats from Headwear USA, courtesy of Jeff. So thank you. And they were awesome. So we had a lot of fun. You might have seen them on your social media, but we were mixing it up this year. So first thing, I think what was really different this year were we had SAGME sessions, and we started the day a little late yesterday. So
hold on. There was a golf tournament.
There was a golf
I missed the whole day, actually.
Yeah, there was a lot of activities going on. Like there was like a 3 to 4 day agenda.
Yeah,
starting from the golf tournament, which was how well attended. I didn't play golf.
So it was the most well attended one we've had in a very long time. Even though we had lower attendance, they had 64 players, and then we had some awards. They had a lot of fun. We even had some people who had never played golf showed up to play just because they wanted to network. So yeah, we had a great golf outing.
So slightly lower attendance for the show overall, but higher attendance for
all the events. All of the events were highly attended.
I was really pleased to see the attendance for some of the other events, and we'll get into that, I'm sure, when we move on. But yeah, that's pretty awesome to see that more buy-in.
Yeah, and I know education was different this year. So instead of, I think in the past we've, asked people to make submissions and tell us, what they would like to talk about. But instead what we did was we picked the submissions. We picked who we wanted to talk. And we had a great lineup from Bobby Lehue to Bill Petrie to Dave Schultz. That was just 3 of them. Do you remember a couple of the other ones?
Ellen Tucker.
Oh my God, Ellen Tucker. Phenomenal. Just great all around. So the education.
And I think there was one more of a frame.
I know the second one, and I'm totally brain farting. I'm sorry. But either way, very well attended. The feedback was great from all the shows. And then we had a really fun networking event the first night called Camp Sagney. And it started off as networking, cash bar, and then we did this scavenger hunt throughout the entire casino. I was really nervous because I put so much into that, like really like, okay, is this going to be, are people going to show up? Are they going to want to do a scavenger hunt? I know at like 9 o'clock at night, I'm usually like,
That's so fun though.
bedtime.
I actually thought that was
How
one of the
did it
more
go?
creative things to do.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I signed up for it and then I was like, oh shit, I made dinner plans, so I'm not going to be able to make this thing. And luckily it started maybe later than it was supposed to or something.
Yeah, it's about 15 minutes
And
later.
dinner was pretty quick. So we were all, and I actually brought the dinner party with me. So there was people there that weren't even registered
Awesome.
to be there. So
That's so fun.
it was pretty cool. Now, Sean Kurtzman did, fib a little bit. He kind of persuaded us to get up there by saying it was an open bar. So thanks, Sean. But yeah, no, the event was really cool. I mean, the fact that you guys were able to put that all together, and that was one of the things that I thought about as I was attending everything. It's just like how much thought and planning had to go into each separate event, and how, I guess, draining that would have to be for a team to put together. Because I mean, every event is obviously meticulously thought out. You guys have done a good job.
Yeah.
And so you can tell that there's a team behind it. It's not
Oh,
just
yeah.
one person.
Yeah, there's no way. It's too big. The show's too big. These shows are too big for any executive director to do by themselves. So, it goes back to supporting your regionals, which I think that's another really good point. And I'm going to call out Patty Ward because I'm so thankful. I want to say thank you, Patty, for even showing up and helping out today. But she came here and helped out Sagney. And I saw her and I said to her, Patty, how, as a performer, director of sales, how can we support the Tressa and Papa shows? And she was so taken back by it. She's like, no distributor has ever asked me how they could support the regionals like this. I was like, really? And so we have a whole plan in place. So I just thought that was really unique. Like, we should all be supporting our regionals. The trade show model, as we know it, is dying. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And I've heard people say, oh, when I was on the board, we had 1,700, suppliers and this and that. Well, I'm sorry. The internet wasn't even around when you were on the board. So,
Well, there's a lot of like conflicting events that happened, right? Like
Yeah.
this week,
Oh, yeah.
just in general, there were 3 major events that were happening this week that had people all over the place.
Yeah.
And so the regionals do work really, really hard in order to pull off these events. And
that's continuing for another week or so, because next week is LDC and EDC.
Yep.
Yeah.
EMC, whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Emerging leaders,
leaders.
EAI.
ELC. There you go.
Yeah. So it looks like the Camp Sagney thing went off really well. Scavenger hunt. I was really nervous. I was afraid people weren't going to want to do it. And then the teams started coming back after the scavenger hunt, and the competition that was coming out of these teams.
Oh,
They were
I
like
can
playing
imagine.
for blood.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God,
There's
this is so
some
much
big
fun.
competitors in our industry that,
Yeah.
people they don't like to lose.
Yes.
So yeah, you put them in something where there's a prize.
There was
at the end
prizes. Yeah.
that
And
they're
they-
all in 100%.
And then we had karaoke. There was a little it was just something got messed up and I don't know what, but the lights turned on at 10 and the bar stopped serving drinks. And we were like, but we just started. So everyone moved it to a different bar. I went to bed. So I don't know how that went off, but,
I'm just going to blame John Cuddy.
we'll always blame. It's so easy.
It's John's fault.
It's always John's fault. I'm like, if you like it, I'll take charge. I'll take credit.
Yeah.
Credit. But, so then there was the Sagney sessions, which were like almost like an EME type thing, or if you're a performer, we have energized summits where it's like speed dating and you go from room to room to room.
There were 10 minutes, right?
10 minutes,
Yeah.
yeah. And they were done in groups. So you could show up really at any time and then be put into a group and then just keep going and go throughout. So it was really, really good. People loved it. And my daughter, actually, she is recently brand new to the industry. And yesterday was her first Promotions East. So she got to do the Sagney sessions and she goes, you know what, Mom? I learned about who had the best umbrella under $10. I was like, oh, that is so cute.
So awesome.
So yeah,
she's you're going to get back and she's going to start like her own business.
yeah. Well, she's
Like full entrepreneur.
Yeah, she's working for Performa now.
I
Already.
love it.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Recruited him young.
Yes. Yeah. I'm in 10.
So that was one thing I was talking to Sarah Levinson about, was the Sagney sessions, because obviously that's one of the better platforms or type of events in our industry, is like the EME style, speed dating, if you will. But to do it in 10 minutes is intense.
I know.
Because I mean, it's hard enough to do it in 20 minutes.
I know.
How did you get any? Have you
I didn't get to
Is it
go
still
in.
too early to see any or hear any feedback from the suppliers as to how that would have went?
I would say so, just because I wasn't in it yesterday, but my daughter was, and they loved it. And I will say the feedback that I did hear is that there wasn't enough time in between. It was just meeting.
Yeah.
So I think next year maybe extend it a little bit longer and then have maybe a small 5-minute break in between, just so you can switch rooms, just take a breather, decompress, because you're just learning for like an hour and a half. And what are you going to retain? So, I mean, we got to just pivot.
I mean, that might even be one way to, because I know you guys are recreating everything. Because, like you said, it's the last year in Atlantic City, so maybe that's one way to create the experiential part of it and still make it a 2-day event as opposed to just a 1-day.
Yeah, I agree.
Really big trade show. Maybe you do on the first day the EME style events, but they are maybe more 20 minutes.
Yeah.
A couple minute break in between. You do that for a day, and then the second day is the trade show. I don't know. Like
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing a volunteer for the committee for the trade show next year.
He's going to set them up. We're planning for PPAS because I'm on the board for PPAS. So we're looking at
considering
this.
that.
So,
I'm
you know,
ready.
get you down to Texas too. You can help also with our regional. And so fantastic.
Considering I'm already volunteering on 2 other boards, I don't know that that's going to happen, but I mean, maybe we'll see. I won't say no.
All right. That sounds good. So then we had the Sagney lunch, which I'm torn on this, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I loved it. I love that we brought back the Sagney lunch. I love that we brought in Paul Hewitt to talk, and he really talked about how it used to be, and he really resonated, I think, with all old timers. And it was all about like this. He's retiring soon, and his whole journey, and giving back, and volunteering, and mentoring, and it was very inspirational. And so many people were just like enthralled. But then I saw a lot of the newer people that have just come into the industry that didn't know Paul,
Right.
so they took maybe for granted that the gold that was being dropped in their laps, really. So I just don't think there was a disconnect there, because you could see that they were on their phones. But that was a little disappointing. But man, I was just so happy to be there and just get to hear him speak. It was really, really good. So I just want to say thank you to him for even coming and being the keynote. But I don't think what a lot of people understood was we did charge for the lunch, and we were charging like $35. We really wanted to add a value to it. And they charged Sagney $95 a person. So we were really losing money on it.
Okay.
But we really wanted people to come.
Yeah.
So we thought it would just,
But you do those things as a
Yeah.
regional, right? Like, and it is
Absolutely.
because you know the value that you're bringing to the regional association. And so that's fantastic.
yeah.
So,
And I think it's important. Like we talk about these things because people know that the work goes into it. A lot of people just show up and they're like, wow, I thought the trade show was going to start at 9. Well, it didn't this year. So
I actually really enjoyed that part.
Me
And that was one of the
too.
things I mentioned to Sarah as well last night at the dine arounds was the fact that I love that it didn't start until 12:30.
okay.
Very, very nice. Because, obviously you go out, you do the camp thing and all that. And then of course you go to the next bar afterwards. It's like, okay, this turned into a 1:00 night or a 2:00 night. And you're like, yeah, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of a break in the morning. But of course, if you did the Sagney sessions, then maybe you were not one of those people to get that break. But at the same time, it was really nice. And I know, again, you guys were trying to figure out how to get more people involved for the entire extent of the show, not just to come in for a day. Because a lot of
you can sell the hotel rooms.
Yeah. You travel.
A lot of people come in for a day. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people have just said, this is just, it's a really big 1-day show.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys are still fighting to create that multi-day experience.
Yeah, for sure.
The run was yesterday morning, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what? Okay, you did.
He actually was running it. I was really proud. I was like, look at you.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And you know what, Meg?
They were raising money.
Everybody is so nice when you're doing that thing. Is you're passing by people, they're waving, and, high fiving,
Yes.
and Meg's
Not tripping you.
Meg's just a fucking heckler.
Did she chip you?
Jeff, you don't have a day in your life. Stop pretending. I said, I know I don't run. That's why I'm out of breath, Meg.
I was really proud of him on the boardwalk because I ran this morning. The gym opened at 8, and I was like, "What gym opens at 8?"
I know.
Like that's not going to happen.
I was projecting. I was projecting because he was really trying. I was speed walking in the back, but I was bringing in. Didn't want anyone to be left behind.
Yeah,
so.
there you go.
But it was nice. Jessica Gibbons-Rausch, she came in second. People were taking it seriously, and I will say, back in the day when this was such a big event, they used to have like the timers when you go across the thing, and there's this memorable picture that it's like from gosh, back in my Jetline days, Rachel Levin used to work at Motivators, and we were both so hungover, and we went to this run, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a 30-minute, like 5K at this point. And I was like, I'm not a loser. I'm going to act like I was carrying you this whole time. So I picked her up and carried her across the finish line. So there's a picture of us, and she's like, yeah, coming across so we were going to reenact that, but we forgot.
So I'm going to correct you here on the finishing
no.
order.
Okay.
Jennifer Allen smoked everybody.
She did. She smoked everybody.
She started after everybody and still smoked everybody. So she was first.
It's awesome.
BJ Vaughn from Blue Chip was actually second.
So, okay, she was the second female. I apologize. Second place female.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right.
BJ did great.
Nothing against JGR. You know, she finished third. She beat me. You know, it's like the
She beat me.
So.
Well, she's training for a marathon. So that's
Is
cool.
she?
Yeah, her husband does like Ironmans and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they actually came to Maine this summer and hung out, and they did.
I was told by multiple people that I needed to change my shoes, which is why I was having issues.
Oh.
So I don't know.
There you go.
maybe there's
Yeah,
a
I
better-
had hay boots on.
shoes.
There
you go. You were prepared.
He was totally prepared.
I love it.
Well, and I think the Big Bang Party every year is the Splashtastic, and they had a special DJ. Apparently, he's like a famous DJ. I didn't catch his name, but it was really good. It was actually a lot more crowded than last year. I had reps from other suppliers saying, "Hey, Meg, can you book me or let me rent a cabana?" And I was like, "It's very last minute. I will do my best, but I don't think I could." And I couldn't.
Yeah.
So I was very pleased.
awesome.
I was very pleased with that.
I
And
heard somebody took a dive in the pool.
I was going to ask that. I was going to say, did
Yeah.
anybody get in the pool? Because I feel like every year, inevitably,
I had left already, but I did receive a video. So it was,
there is evidence.
there is evidence.
There's evidence.
And I think it was
happening.
John got pushed in. John was like, "No, please don't."
He didn't get pushed in. He got
Carried in.
slam dunked into it.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's fun. If you haven't seen the video, it
No,
it
I'm
may
going to
make
have to
its
watch the
way-
video.
It
so.
may make its way around
Okay.
the interwebs, but yeah, they were quickly kicked out of the event after that.
Aw.
Of course, right?
So from your perspective, first day of the actual show, how was it for you, Jeff?
First day was actually really good. I wouldn't say that it was super busy, so to speak, or like, you know, a huge rush, but it was very consistent the entire way through and busy the whole way through. So
I like
It was good.
consistent shows.
I would
Yeah, me
rather it be
too.
that way as well,
Yeah.
because then you can actually give people
You can
the time
have
that they
conversations
deserve.
with people. I agree.
And even though I say that, you know, you're having conversations, but there's still people waiting, like to have
Oh,
a
yeah.
conversation. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was busy the whole day, which was great. Now we're recording this on the morning of the second day.
Mhm.
Trade show floor just opened a little while ago, so I won't be able to tell you for sure how today was yet, but you know, we'll see. Hopefully
be
the
good.
things that you guys have done to keep people here overnight and for a multi-day event will, you know, come to fruition and bring more people on the second day.
I hope so. I think maybe next year we'll give away a car or something. Just kidding.
You heard it first here, folks.
A vacation to the Bahamas, a free car for you. Call me Oprah after next
Yeah.
year. Well, I will say it was the first time I've walked the show in a very long time. And like I said, I got to bring my daughter. It was so much fun because I was introducing her to people and they were like, "Oh my gosh, you are her daughter? You were so tall." You're what? So yeah, she's taller than me. And it was nice. It was really fun to bring her around, and everybody had so many nice things to like, "Oh, your mom."
I love
And I
it.
was like, "Oh my gosh."
That's the great thing about our
it's so-
industry.
I
have
love
to
our
say.
industry. I
So-
really do.
Yeah.
She's going to be what, 6'3"?
Oh yeah, she's 6'3".
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was in flats.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. They're like, "You played volleyball, didn't you?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Oh,
But she loved it. She absolutely loved it. And she loved it. Like, I love seeing it through her eyes because we were all there once. And when you go to the trade show and you see all the fun things and you're learning about how to smoke a whiskey sour or whatever, or the pure, she just learned so much and she was
So
just
cool.
having so much fun. And I'm excited now for her to take this out and start prospecting and, you know, take her under my wing a little
I
bit.
love it.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I will say that is one thing. It's again, did we mention the dine arounds at all other than
Just that you went, I
yeah,
think.
just that I went.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the dine arounds were again one of the highlights for me. This group that I had this year was a little bit different, but I saw that it was a ton of distributors that were signed up this year, which normally it's
Mixed, right? Or more suppliers.
70% suppliers, 80% suppliers,
Yeah.
but there was like one supplier in each group, and
That's
there was
awesome.
like 5 or 6 distributors in each group.
That's
But that was
awesome.
amazing.
I like
So,
dine around events. I think it gives you an opportunity just to know people a little bit more
to talk to
beyond
people you
business.
wouldn't normally talk to.
Normally
You
talk
wouldn't
to.
normally
Yeah.
talk with them.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
And so there were 2 like relatively new people in the dining around group that I was in. One person that's only been in it for about a year and is coming from a print company. And last year, this event was like their first event. And then another person that had just started at commonsku.
Okay.
So some different perspectives.
Yeah.
And, but it's just so fun to see how the newer people in the industry sort of interact with these types of events, just with fresh eyes and none of the callousness of, experience, if you will. And I would just encourage everybody to try to approach the trade shows and this industry in general like that more often. Try to just remove all the blinders that have been put on over the years and, try to come at it from a fresh perspective, because the industry is changing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a huge benefit to being able to approach it that way. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't have anything else. I'm exhausted. It was a long show. I am exhausted. My voice is gone, but packing it up. And I think the next big one for all of us is Vegas, right?
Yeah, that'll be the next big one, unless you're going to LDC or anything like that.
Yeah, or Impressions.
Well, I'm looking forward.
It's in Fort Worth in October.
Oh,
October.
So that's
I'll be
the
there.
last apparel
Maybe.
show.
Maybe.
So you never know where you're pop up.
Yeah, I never know.
I know.
Very
Well, it was so good to see you guys in person.
Yeah,
and
this was fun.
it was fun being a distributor this time and getting to go talk to Jeff. And
Well, since you were too good to come to Chicago,
I was sick.
Well, I'm excited to walk the floor today. So I'm going to go see how day 2 is.
Awesome.
All right.
Sounds good.
cool. Let's do it. Until next time, guys, we'll be seeing you. Take care.